So hello friends, my name is Arbab Usmani. As you know that I am co-founder of CEO Upskill, and today with me is Ramya Ramchandran, who owns a very good influencer marketing agency in Mumbai, and she is doing great work into that area. She is not only that not it's not only about bringing the influencer to the onboard. She is also helping them to tell the story by their own way by doing the various things. And let's know about her and her agency by herself, right? So welcome Ramya, welcome to Upskill show, and thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you so much, Arbab. Um, I'll start by giving a quick introduction about what I do. I'm Ramya Ramachandran, founder of Wopple. At Wopple, we do two main verticals. One is creating content at scale. By creating content is what I mean, where we help brands for their social media channels create content across platforms for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. We create content and give it to them, and the brand uses it as and when they require. And the second aspect is influencer marketing, where we create strategies based on the influencer, based on the brand objective, based on influencer tonality. We churn out strategies which have a very specific USP and create content. The main basic KPIs which we work around is reach, impressions, of course. Other than that, what we also try and look at is social commerce aspect, where if an influencer is promoting a product or a service, there is some sort of conversion which we look at. It's the way we create content in a very organic, subtle way where it's not very pushy or not very ad like. So we ensure that content is pushed forward in a way that people actually want to make a purchase. Like genuine users genuinely want to try the product.
So means that you are creating a content, something like that. It influences people to make a decision for them, right?
Correct, correct. We keep it very subtle. We keep influencers as the main. We keep their tonality as the key communication. And we subtly integrate brands within the channel of communication.
Right. So this is about your company, what you do, what your company do, right? I also want to know about yourself as well. That where do you come
Sure.
from and what do you do right in your life? Right?
Sure. So I'll quickly start from my career. I started my career in an ad agency. I used to work as a social media strategist. The kind of brands I used to handle there was mostly all PNG brands, a couple of fintech brands, a couple of real estate brands. I worked with the agency for good 2.5 years. And then I wanted to start my entrepreneurial journey. That's when I started a boutique agency where we used to give end-to-end F&B solutions to clients. Most of my clients were cafeterias or restaurants, and what we used to do for them is craft their messaging. What should be the USPs of the restaurant or of the cafeteria? Also, do their social media manage their social media pages. Also, do a couple of PR listicles like where all you can be featured. Other than that, this was back in 2016 when we started a lot of influencer and blogger outreach. So we would invite food reviewers to our restaurant, ask them to try the food, write about it, and that's when we realized that when a specific food blogger is talking about the specific restaurant, the sales boomed because we closely worked with entrepreneurs of the restaurant. We understood that 50 to 70% of that particular product has increased. The walk-ins increased, the deliveries increased. That's when I had a eureka moment saying, you know what, if we are doing this in the F&B space, how about we diversify, go to multiple other industries and do very impact driven content marketing, like have very specific strategies, not have it very broad, have very specific strategies and open it to all the industries. And hence I founded Wopple in early 2019 with the niche of having influencer content marketing, where we churn out content for influencers as well as brands.
So let's talk about, since we are going to talk about that how influencer marketing changed during the pandemic, right? So first of all, a lot of audience do not know about what is exactly influencer marketing, right? So
Sure.
that they should be knowing that, and yes, there is a very less educational stuff available into the in the internet in this area, right? So I just wanted to know that first we should start that according to you, what is an influencer marketing according to you, right? So
Sure.
that would give them a clear picture.
Sure. So for me, in a very layman language, influencer marketing is basically word of mouth at a really large scale. When you like a product or a service, you end up telling your friends or your family, your extended friends, you post it on groups saying, oh, I really like this product or a service. Influencer marketing is literally that at a wider scale, with a larger audience. So it is an influencer recommending something, and because of that recommendation, you are going and buying a certain product or getting an experience or using the service, is at the end of the day influencer marketing. So anything that influences a decision is influencer
Very good.
marketing.
Very good point. So I just wanted to add 2 cents to that as well, because people should know it. So I'm going to take one example, and in that example, I'm going to narrate you how influencer marketing is actually impacting things, right? So
Sure.
very simple example, that you go to any supermarket. In that supermarket, you see, you want to buy a peanut butter, right? In that peanut butter, you see two brands. One is called Tata peanut butter, and one is called Ashok peanut butter, right? So your decision is something like that. You do not have many ideas about, many ideas about what is peanut butter. You only know that peanut butter is something called peanut butter, and you see the sale, and the pricing is almost the same, right? So you have two choices to make, either Tata or either, the Ashok. So most of the time, most of the user will go for the Tata, because when you do not know anything, then you go biased toward the brand as well, right? So this is one of the things that brand influences you, right? Now, but now, second scenario. Let's say you are surfing in Instagram, and in Instagram you see a lot of influencer is talking about Ashok peanut butter. Like, let's say 5, 6 influencers, you have seen that. Now you go to the market, you have two choices to make: Tata, Ashok. Tata, Ashok. Your decision will be not as strong as for the Tata as it was previous. It maybe goes toward the Ashok as well. And the finest example for this, we have seen that with Mamaearth, right? To Mamaearth, we have seen that. The finest example is that, right? So we have seen that. So influencer marketing actually, as Ramya says, that it influences people toward that. I just wanted to make it more, that useful for you in a way of case study, right? By giving a small case study. Right, exactly, right?
Absolutely. I think you have put it in a very simplified manner, which is perfect example, which
Right.
actually influencer marketing helps in brand awareness. That's the main aspect of, if a brand is unknown, influencers get, the communication in place, and then acha, there is a brand like Ashok peanut butter. Why don't we get our hands on it?
Right. So a lot of people understand that influencer marketing is all about selling. A lot of people, in fact, make jokes about that. That influencer only were able to sell 13 t-shirt and all those things. That there have been news for that, right? So
Correct.
my next question is around that as well. People think influencer marketing is all about selling your product, right? Do you think there is a
Sure.
bigger impact than only the selling of the product in influencer marketing?
Absolutely. I feel, of course, there is a very significant role of purchase decision based on influencer marketing. But today, also, brands have understood the impact of this. And today, we are moving towards a more community approach. If you see, brands are building more influencer community, brand loyalists. They are also encouraging real people to be a part of the community, try the products, and give their testimonials themselves. And because we are seeing this rise, there is also a lot of affiliate programs which have come into the picture. Having said that, of course, there is a commerce angle towards everything we do in influencer marketing. But since we are talking about pandemic and how influencers have been super responsible, especially during the second wave, I feel so many influencers have collated so many lists about where hospitals are available, where beds are available, where oxygen cylinders are available. All these things were done pro bono. We saw influencers actually using their influence to save lives. We were seeing, like, the whole of 1.5 months where India was in a very bad state. We saw influencers coming up, collating all this data, adding all their DMs to their influence. So I feel it's not only about selling, but it's also about being responsible for the
Humanizing.
you've undertaken, especially during the pandemic. We have seen this happening, and also there were a few brands we had which we had to keep our brand campaigns on hold because influencers said, this is not the right time to talk about a brand. We are all in the same boat. So I feel
Exactly.
influencers today are, of course, there is a fraction of people who are very responsible also in the kind of influence they bring on the table.
Right. So it's more like selling about the product. It's also about the creating the connection with the brand as well. Right.
Absolutely, yes. You feel
Right.
like it's not an endorsement. You feel like, okay, this is something I may like. If I like it, I'll buy it. It's like that. It's more of information exchange, brand awareness,
Right.
testimonial.
So, so since you talk about that oxygen crisis and lockdown, so my next question comes to you about that only. That that do you think that in 2019 the way we are doing influencer marketing has been changed in 2020 during the lockdown? Do you think that? And if you think that it has changed, then according to you, what is the major thing is changed into that?
I think pre-COVID, we all were like social media was more of an aspirational space where you put out aesthetic content, you put out everything in a very well-defined manner. In the pandemic, I think everyone were going through the same phase. So relatable content became very engaging. If you remember Katrina Kaif doing the sweeping and brooming in her house, that video went viral because all of us were doing the same thing at home. No maids, no domestic workers were allowed, and we were all going through the same thing. So, I think now influencer marketing has become more relatable because we are all on the same boat. We can't show something which no one, it's the first time this has happened that everyone is on the same boat. There's a lockdown pan India level. So I feel now it is more relatable, it is more uh, it is something which everyone can understand, and there is more connect, there's more empathy as well.
Right. Exactly. The more empathy is there, more connection, emotional connection is there, and the way people consume content that COVID era is like right now they are consuming more and more content, and it
Correct.
also that I'm very afraid about that, and I want to discuss with you that it's also that kind of driving toward people toward the fatigue, right? So it is also driving toward the fatigue. So the content with quality content is going to rise more and more because everybody sees that everybody is repeating something generic content, right? So
Correct,
in that
absolutely.
in that in that your agency, like for example, they are helping influencer. They can suggest, like for example, that that this content has already been put. Why you are putting this? Put something unique. Put
Correct.
make your brand itself, right? So this kind of agency, that it's going to help them then definitely, and that it's like it's more empathetic. We know that, right? Now. Let's say if somebody wants to do influencer marketing right now, right?
Mhm.
If you have to give like 5 points, let's say 5 points you have to give. Okay, do this and don't do this, right? What should be that those 5 points for you?
Sure. In no specific order, what I would like to say, the first thing to keep your influencer strategy in mind is one, really have relatable content. Because the
Very
moment you post something which is not relatable, no one is going to engage. The more relatable it is, the more people are going to share, the more virality quotient increases. Correct? So that is going to be the first one. Number two, stay up to date with the information on the internet. Like, for example, ASCII guidelines came up last month, 1.5 months back. Now you have to be sharp in a way you produce content because now you have guidelines which say you have to say it's a paid partnership or it's an ad or it's gifted. So you definitely need to be very well aligned with regulations and rules and craft your campaign strategy in such a way that people still watch and still engage with it. Correct? Because you, at the end of the day, everything boils down to engagement and numbers. So definitely read up on this and keep your content as the hero and not the numbers. Number three, I think a lot of influencers, like you were also saying, you can't replicate. You can always take inspiration, but you have to be authentic. So authenticity is very, very important. How authentic you are, how well you plan your content, how much time you invest in your content calendar, how do you keep coming up with creative ideas, consistently posting. I think this is also very, very important for influencers. Number four, what I would also like to talk about is like also speak to market, like experts in the market, in the industry, who, like for example, if we are speaking to influencers as a company, we talk to them, we understand what does their audience really want to watch. So engage with your audience, understand what kind of content they would like to see, and try and create that, because that is authentic, right? Then it's like something you want to watch, I'm going to create that for you, as majority of people what they want. So that is definitely something we need to keep in mind. And the last point, like in no particular order, you have to be very creative. Today, like you said, there's so many content platforms, there are so many places where you can actually create content. We are overwhelmed with content. The minute you want your content to stand out, you have to be super creative with it. So that filter has to definitely be there with whatever you do.
So there's my one of my quote is there: to become a great content creator, you have to be become a great content consumer.
Correct. Absolutely. You should know what excites you, and then you'll know, okay, what can I do in similar lines?
Right. So, Ramya, if we talk about like as a closing remark, you want to say something up to the audience, one quote of yours or something like one learning of yours.
What I would like to say is, the internet is a very like, it can overwhelm you. The kind of things you see, it's very aspirational. But at the end of the day, you need to take measured decision on what works for you. What everything in proportion is good. And as we are young, we are the youth, we should always be kind on the internet. I think that is very important. You never know what the other person reading through your comment or whatever you're writing, what's their headspace like. So always be kind on the internet. That will take you a long way.
Right. Thank you very much, Ramya, and it was a really that knowledgeable session, and I hope that people know about that people know more about the influencer marketing and know more about you as well, and as an expert. And thank you very much for sharing your expert opinion about things. I personally wanted to know about it, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arbab. It was wonderful talking to you.